Today's program is all about the world of work. Work is an important part of most people's lives. We're going to be looking at many aspects of it and hearing some amazing stories. Today's program comes to you from London's Savoy Hotel. I'm here to sample the delights of a rising star of the kitchen, Lee Hewitt. Lee is a chef at one of the Savoy's 3 Gordon Ramsay restaurants. It's sure to be delicious.
Before I moved to London, I applied for lots of engineering jobs but didn't come off because of the red tape, risk assessment, this, that and the other. So I thought I'd better think about another career. I applied for a job as a chef, starting at the bottom and working my way up. Now I'm working at the Savoy. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm tired and barely awake, but I've got to go to work. I was brought up in a hearing environment. I cope very well. I learnt to sign when I went to Mary Hare School.
We do receive hundreds of CVs, and it's not the easiest thing in the world to do is get a job at Gordon Ramsay.
I thought they might be a bit nervous and reluctant to have a deaf person in the kitchen.
He said he'd done it before in other places, and I said, yes, but Gordon Ramsay's is not like any other normal restaurant.
So Jacqueline got hold of me, she phoned me up one day and said, look, we've got this guy, he's very enthusiastic, he wants to work hard, the only slight problem is he's deaf. So I said, okay, we'll give him a try. I mean, he's got a pair of hands, he's got a brain, let's see what he can do.
I need a coffee to wake me up.
Now you're going to get 1 box for Drew, yeah? Yeah, but bring them up and down. Yeah.
Louis, at the beginning, we get very frustrated. You remember, he's coming here as a prep comedy, as any 18, 19-year-old young lad straight from college. You've got to start at the bottom. He thinks we're giving him these jobs because he's deaf. It's not the case. He's being treated like anybody else. I went through years of just picking salads and prepping vegetables before moving up. So if we'd have chucked him right at the deep end at the beginning, he wouldn't have been able to do it. But now, because he's been there a few months, you see things and you see how a certain plate is dressed. Today we're going to get him on with a few other tasks to see how he gets on. Today we're going to get you to do a few tasks and preparing a few of the dishes that are on the menu, a few of the new dishes especially. We're going to see how they go, okay? And then which we're going to taste, and we're going to make sure everything's okay.
Okay.
Okay, you good with that?
No, no
You feeling okay?
Yeah.
Confident?
Yeah,
Then
confident.
let's show us what you can do, okay?
Okay. Dawson, can put on 1 per salad for men, stay bath in the grill, ribeye, medium well, please. Wait.
The first thing I said to him, can you read lips? And he said yes. So from that, I know when I talk to him, I have to look at him so he understands. And that's, but sometimes during service, you forget, so you have to say, Lee. You know what I mean? Every time you talk, you have to look at him.
When my colleagues want to get my attention, sometimes they flick the tea towels at me, or grab me on the shoulder, or shout oi, which you obviously can't hear. Or they throw something at me, just to get my attention. Stuff like that. Sometimes the communication breakdown. At times it's okay. Sometimes it's funny. At other times it can get a bit heated. It depends on their mood, really.
So I know when I'm talking to him, I really speak straight to his face so he doesn't understand what I'm saying, because I totally read my lips now, so it's very easy. It's not hard to work with him.
Nicely cooked on the prawns. Salad is a little too dressed. Too much dressing. You don't really taste the salad, all you taste is the vinaigrette. Okay, sea bass is cooked nice. Perfectly seasoned. The only thing with the fennel needs to be cooked a little more. So the most important thing you have to do, taste your food on everything. And all in all good. A few minor mistakes, a few minor errors, but nothing that was a normal customer would probably not even notice.
I'm putting things like them, basically all the way just dogs, not something up in the grill. So, some people have to.
It's very busy at the moment. The orders are coming in thick and fast, and we're struggling just to keep up, to make sure we process them and send the dishes out.
He's going to do a bit of time upstairs, maybe do about a year upstairs, getting used to just seeing kitchen environment first. Then from there, bring him downstairs, and we're going to try and cross that bridge when we come to it.
The doors are now wide open for people who'd like to apply for jobs within us. The doors have always been open, but this is the very first that we've ever had, that I've ever had, working within the company. We had to do a few things, health and safety adjustments, you know, with fire, with the alarms and things like that, but besides that, nothing really. If he's got a way to kind of tell the other chefs, this is how I'd like you to talk to me or, you know, communicate with me, I don't see why he shouldn't go any further or lots further, really.
My job at this level, no, that's not realistic. That just isn't realistic. 2 onwards, straight out. Starts away on 28.
Sometimes as a chef you want things said once and to be done, whereas obviously with Lee, there's a big problem there.
Gluing things together, because if you position them between disparate groups of plants, they join them together, they knit them. They're rather like shading in a painting, and the whole thing seems to flow much more easily. So which ones do you choose? Well, with plenty of varieties at your fingertips, it's useful to divide them into sizes: short, middling and tall. The big ones you can use like shrubs, but they needn't be weighty. This is a Molinia called Transparent. Makes a great screen from your side of the path to mine. The denser ones, like this Miscanthus, you can use as a sort of hedge. Most Miscanthus tend to be round about head height, but this one here is a monster, almost like a small tree. All that growth in a single season. Middle-sized ones can act as eye-catching full stops or frondy shrubs. The shorter grasses are very good at the front of a border. They'll soften a planting scheme and calm down really strident colours, but you can also use them as focal points, like this Stipa tenuissima in an urn, catching the sunlight beautifully. For now, though, the season is ticking away. And back in the garden, we have Liftoff. Our colchicum bulbs are flowering. Aren't they glorious? And all the more appreciated because you don't sort of expect new things to be pushing up and bursting into bloom at this time of year. But they are perfect for these gaps between shrubs and perennials that need a bit of autumnal brightness when everything else now is beginning to turn brown. Because those 5 weeks have made a big difference to the garden. Suddenly, the morning air's crisp rather than muggy, and most borders are looking just slightly bedraggled. There's no escaping that autumn's come, and with it, a host of new jobs. There'll be a lot of weather between now and spring. Heavy rain, strong winds, and that means that anything that can lash around will either have to be tied down or cut off. What you're looking for are fast-growing shrubs, like Buddleia and Mallow. The main pruning for these takes place in March, just before they start to grow away. But they both have brittle wood, and if you leave these long stems with the faded flowers on through the winter, they can snap off stems, so just tip them back by about 1/3 of their length, and that'll reduce the windrock. Why not just do the March pruning now, you might ask? Well, frost tends to kill the extremities of plants, so if you leave a bit spare, you'll protect the bits you do want for the spring. Meanwhile, climbers like roses and honeysuckle need tying in to stop them from being buffeted by the wind, and do pull